Powerful personal development. Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about powerful personal development. But before we get into this video, please do leave a like on it and please do subscribe if you haven't done so already. Please leave down in the comments any tips or any stories yourself that may help other people, or if there is something that you would like me to discuss in a future video. Thank you so much. So obviously a lot of my videos are centered around dating and relationships, mostly dating, getting your ex back, those kinds of things, how to tell if a girl likes you, all those kinds of things. But in order to become the best catch possible, you need to work on your personal development so that when you go out into life, when you go on dates, when you go to work, when you go to school, whatever, you come across as more of a catch. And one of the ways that you can make yourself more of a catch is if you work on your personal development. So I'm going to go into some ways that you can do that, and this will really, really help your dating game and attracting those people that you like into your life. So the first point that I want to make is the content you consume. And the content you consume is videos like this. It could be what you watch on TV. It could be the books you read. It could be the movies that you go and watch. Anything, or the songs that you listen to. So basically you want to make sure that whatever you are listening to and watching is positive. So if you're watching this video, then you're on the right kind of video that you should be watching. You should be watching more videos like this one, not just my videos, but there's loads of other people out there that have made really positive videos that help with your personal development. And the reason why what you consume is so important is because a lot of what you watch, a lot of what you read, a lot of what you listen to actually goes into your subconscious mind. And basically an example of this is that, say, when a random song comes into your head and you can't get it out of your head, and you haven't even listened to that song in ages, and yet you're hearing it in your head, you can't get it out of your brain. That's basically because that song has been imprinted into your subconscious mind. So if you're watching a lot of negative stuff, a lot of horrible TV shows, basically ones about, crime, things like that, then those kinds of things are being imprinted into your brain. But the same goes for whenever you are watching anything that is positive, content that you consume that is good for you. And so that's anything basically motivational, educational in some way. Up in the cards, I'll leave some positive resources, and these are things that I've listened to that I really like, that I really enjoy, that I listen to quite a lot, or watch quite a lot. So you can see some examples of the things that have personally helped me. So it's really important that, especially, it's not just that as well, and it's not just the content you consume, it's also the people that you have around in your life. If you have a lot of negative people in your life, then you need to be watching and listening to positive content. And there's loads of podcasts, there's loads of audiobooks, there's loads of books, there's loads of inspirational movies that you can watch that can help you with this. And that leads into my next point, which is your associations. So if you have any goals that you're trying to achieve, then you need to surround yourself with people that are not going to bring you down. So at one stage of my life, I was living with my parents. And when I was living with my parents, I didn't really have any positive associations because my parents were quite naggy at each other. And I was really worried that I would end up in a relationship like that. So one of the things that I did was I started to study dating and relationships and healthier kinds of relationships to have, so that I wouldn't end up in the same kind of loveless kind of relationship as my parents, where they're always nagging at each other. And then anyway, I didn't have a lot of positive influences in that kind of sense. So I would listen to audiobooks on personal development. I would read books on personal development. I would watch seminars on personal development, podcasts on personal development. Basically listen to as much positive stuff as I possibly could, because the other influences in my life, I didn't have any, basically. I didn't have any influences that I wanted to be like, right? So people that I wanted to be like Tony Robbins, or Jim Rohn, or Napoleon Hill, those kinds of people who are good, motivational coaches, people who have had a lot of success in the area of personal development, which is something that I want to do. So instead of having like physical associations, so like my friends and family, I went and actually searched for positive associations. Now, you might be lucky enough to actually have positive associations in your life. Like you might have like a group that you go to who are full of like-minded individuals, who are really positive, who always like kind of like your biggest cheerleaders and stuff like that. So luckily now I have a wife who is extremely supportive of what I'm doing, and I find her a positive association, especially when it comes to the line of work that I'm doing, and because she never tries to stop me from doing what I'm doing. She always believes in me, and that's what you need. You need people around you that believe in you, and if you don't have that, then you have to search online for those people, perhaps people that have succeeded in the areas that you want to succeed in. So make sure that you're consuming positive content and finding these positive associations. So the next thing I want to talk about is to be consistent and not perfect, which is something I discussed in another video, which was about how to motivate yourself to work on your goals. And basically in that video, I said that in order to start getting good at something, in order to make something a habit, you must first aim to become consistent instead of perfect, because we all see it on like New Year's Eve. People have these grand goals, these grand dreams that they're going to achieve in their New Year's resolutions, basically. But they're usually too big, and therefore those people can't stay consistent with it. So the example I use a lot, which is someone who makes the goal of, I'm going to exercise 1 hour every day this year. That's something that's probably not going to work out if you haven't been consistent with that in the past. So obviously if someone has been able to work out 1 hour a day for a long period of time, then they're probably going to be able to do that thing. But if you haven't personally done something like that before, and you haven't been able to stay consistent, and perhaps you did it for a couple of days and then you gave up, or you did it for a couple of weeks and then gave up, then you need to first aim at becoming consistent and not perfect. So an example for me is when I write, I aim to just do like 500 or 600 words, or write for just half an hour, as opposed to I'm going to write 5 pages today, because I know that depending on the circumstance, I might not actually be able to do that. But I can aim to write for half an hour or do a specific word count. But I can't give myself these, when it comes to my writing, these big things, because a lot of the time during the day I just don't have the time to be able to do that. So instead I'm aiming to be more consistent with it, as opposed to being perfect with it. So for you, this could be, instead of writing your perfect dissertation or your perfect exam, your perfect paper, then you might just want to write the bullet points first of what you want to put in there, or you want to make like a sloppy copy first draft, as opposed to trying to get it perfect the first time around. So that's just an example if you're a student. So aim to do something like 15 minutes of exercise, 15 minutes of writing your essay, 15 minutes of building your website, as opposed to I'm going to spend a huge amount of time every single day on it. So aiming to be consistent first is much better, and it's better to start small and then work your way up. It doesn't mean that you only have to do 15 minutes forever, but it does mean that you need to start doing that first and then build yourself up to longer periods of time. So the person who starts working out for 15 minutes over the months can start working their way up to that full hour, but aim to be consistent first and not perfect. So another thing to cultivate is obviously your self-confidence, which is basically your faith in yourself, in your ability to do something. So you need to have faith in yourself in order to do something, because a lot of people, they have these goals and dreams that they want to achieve, but they never do it because they lack the self-confidence. They feel like they're not smart enough, they're not strong enough, whatever it is. They have all these self-doubts. To develop your self-confidence, you kind of have to fake it a little bit until you make it. You kind of have to believe in your ability to do something to be able to do it. You need to have that installed. So working on your self-confidence, your belief in yourself, your faith in yourself to be able to carry out a task is really, really important. And the only way you can really do that is by actually doing the thing. And you can start by doing that by what I said previously, with start to become consistent and not perfect. Just start doing it, even if it's in an inconsistent way, even if it's in a shabby way, even if it's in a sloppy way. Just start by doing it. And once you start doing it over a consecutive amount of days, you will then start to become better at it, and you'll start to believe more in yourself. So doing the action, doing the thing will make you feel better about yourself, and it will make you have more confidence in yourself. So you kind of have to start in order to have that confidence. You can't have confidence first and then do it, because you might be waiting a long time. You might be waiting a long time. If you're just waiting for your confidence to come, you could be waiting forever. So a good way to cultivate that confidence is to actually do it. So the next thing to do to really help with your personal development is to master your own mind, instead of letting your monkey brain take over. And your monkey brain is basically the part of your brain that tells you can't do things. So basically, it's kind of like your fear mindset. All the things that you're afraid of will come up in your monkey mind. Basically you need to master that part of yourself. And that is basically through self-discipline. You need to master yourself to do the things that you know you need to do, whether or not you feel like it or not. And basically ignore your monkey mind and make the positive side of your mind take precedence. And that means when your brain tells you to do something, you do it, especially if it's positive action. Now, obviously, if it's something negative, like obviously don't harm other people or harm yourself if your brain is telling you to do that, because that's probably more your monkey mind than your actual real self. As long as what you are doing isn't going to harm yourself or other people, and it's positive action, then do it, if that's what your brain is telling you to do. If your brain says to you something like, you should write a book on this topic, and it's you get really excited about it, then that's something that you should probably try and look into and start doing. But don't listen to that fear mindset that tells you that you're not smart enough, that you're not good enough. You are smart enough, you are good enough. If you have the mind basically to think you can do something, then you can do it. Like if you can picture it, if you can picture yourself doing it, then you can do it. So being in control of your mind is really, really important. Being able to stop those urges that tell you to procrastinate, to eat a whole chocolate cake or whatever it may be for you. Being able to control that and be able to say no to that side of yourself, and being able to say yes to the positive actions that you want to do. The positive thoughts that may come into your head that say, I'm going to wake up earlier today so I can exercise, or so I can read, or so I can work on my project. You know, those kinds of things that you feel like you want to be doing, but for whatever reason your monkey mind is stopping you because it will say, oh no, but tomorrow you'll be tired, you know, those kinds of things. So you need to master that side of yourself and be able to say no to that chatterbox, that monkey mind. If you would like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com, and I shall talk to you guys again very soon. Goodbye, guys.